without putting my fingers over where I want to twist it. And just twist it. Okay, and then I'm coming back down here and I'm making that ear the same size here. Twisting. Now I twist both of those, and this is how you make both ears at the same time. I have both of them there ready to make ears, and so all I have to do is pull them apart like so and bring them down together, and one goes that way, and this one either has to come back this way or this needs to be turned around and turned that way. But it can be turned backwards, return your vise around. And then you have two ears that are the same size this way. And an elephant ear, okay? So those are the ears. There's elephant ear, there's cat ear, and bear ear. Okay, and then the other thing that I will need to show you today is the apple twist. And would you find me a bird body, Kat, please? But the apple twist is, I'll show you on one of the bird bodies in a minute. But right now I'll show you this one here. What we want to do is we want to push this knot down inside the balloon and grab it with our other finger and twist it. And that's what makes an apple twist. And so you just take your finger and put it on the end of the knot, and you'd like that to stay on the end of the knot. Don't let it get up on the side of your finger like that. Don't let it get up on the side of your finger. You want it right down there on the point of your finger. You want it, that should be the farthest thing inside. I don't know if you can see inside there right now, but that should be the farthest thing inside. And then you want to grab that knot through the side of the balloon, right through here. You reach right in there and grab that knot. Now here comes the big thing, pulling that finger back out of there. And sometimes you have to work your way out to do that. And I have that knot in my hand in the middle of that balloon, and now I'm going to have to twist with this hand because I got to hold on to that knot with the other. That way the vise becomes this side over here. And when you're done with this, don't just let go of this side over here. You should push it in to before you let it go. So don't let it go from out here. It could on twist. Kind of push it back in there and then let go. And then that'll hold on just like that there. And that's the apple twist. Now the reason why it's called the apple twist, because it was used to be done with a balloon similar to this, and they made apples out of them. The old ones had just a rounded end on it, and they painted it green, or usually red, and you got the apple that way. This is kind of a nice one because you can see into this. I hope you can see this happening for you inside here. It's still done the same way. You put your finger on the end of the knot, you stick the knot all the way through to the other side, and you reach in from this side, reach down and grab a hold of that knot and pull your finger back out. Sometimes you got to work on it a little bit. Sometimes you can roll the balloon off with your other finger like that, okay, and get your finger out and then twist it. And again, this has to be your vise because it's the hand that you worked to get in there, but now you have to work this side and you still have to hold on. So this becomes the vise, this becomes your worker, and twist it. I'm twisting back this way because I would be twisting this way, and I want to twist this way on this side. And then you don't want to just let go of that, or it'll just go right back the way it was. And you want to kind of push that back in there and let go of it, and that's why they called it the apple twist, a golden delicious. And that's the apple twist, done on a regular balloon to put a bubble on the end and to make the apple here. And those are the three things. Those are three things that you need to learn: the twist, and just twisting balloons together so that they lock, and then the bear ears and the elephant ears, which you can use. I use the elephant ears for angel wings, for instance, and there's a number of other things that you can use them for. So that's the bubbles, the different kinds of bubbles, and Those are the three major things in ballooning, and now I'm going to show you a few of the kind of funny things or different things to do that are shape balloons and make them sculpturing, yes, forming things. And one of those is is to bend the balloon and make it come into a shape that you want it to do, without twisting bubbles in it. Okay, and one of the best ones to show you that with is the heart. And so I'm going to do that. For the heart, we need a balloon that's blowing up nearly all the way. So you can see I'm holding on just the end of that with my finger and thumb. I'm not going to blow any farther than that. Okay? And so I used to blow these with one crack, but now it takes two. And we're going to let a little air out. And this time we're going to tie this differently. Remember, we're not going to just tie this off. I'm going to tie both ends together anyway. So as part of the tie, I'm just going to do the tying right down here together. Twice around for a tie, just like you would anything else. That's all you need. And I have a round item here. Having trouble seeing?
It's not all in there.
So we got a round area here, and the idea is to pull this down, and so that it forms your heart here. And so to do that, I take my hand here and I grab right up at the top, right at the middle. My little finger is at the middle of this top, and I'm going to twist this hand down and in. So you see the heart forming there. Okay, now I got that down in there, and I'm going to grab it right here, and I'm grabbing this whole center piece right in here, and I'm going to squeeze it. Now I'm allowing that to warm up. My hands are actually warming that area, and now I'm going to let go of it slowly, and as I'm letting go slowly, that cools off, and as it cools off, it makes that form. You see it there? I don't know if you can see that in the camera there, but right straight through here, see it's a little bit darker. That means it's a little bit heavier right here. And that's what we've formed. We've formed that heavy here and light here so that it holds that shape. So it's heat and pressure. You pressure that down and squeeze it out, held it for a second or two, got the warmth to it, and then back off slowly, and it holds that shape. Now you can take and do a little more to that. You can do on this side, you can go on that side, and warm it up with your hands and make it shape a little bit. Okay? You can shape it up. And there's a heart. Another thing that we've done in the past, I don't see a lot of people doing it anymore because it's kind of difficult. With a pump, it's a little bit more difficult, and blowing them up, even it's harder to blow them up this way than it would be the other way. But actually, what I'm going to do is make a curl out of a balloon. They used to make balloons that when you blew them up, they would curl, and what happened was they put a stripe of latex right down the middle of the balloon so that when you blew it up, you would have that. Remember when I talked about the heaviness in here? You'd automatically have it heavier on one side than the other, and it would make it twist around. And you can do the same thing by putting it. This is a good one. If you're ever going to try this one, it's a good time to do the stretching out. Okay? And then just put it around your finger like this, real kind of loosely, and make sure that you don't twist it, because twisting it makes it go, won't let the air go through. And then you have to blow into this end and blow it around your finger. Now you don't pull your finger out, and you don't move your finger in any way, because you don't. It just won't work otherwise. You're just blowing in there and it'll keep going around the finger. I've found that when you do that, make sure that if you stop to take a breath, that the balloon is on the way back up and over on the top a little bit, because if it gets too far over on towards the bottom, you can't take that next turn. Is harder. In other words, evidently it's harder to blow them up when they're down at the bottom of your finger than the top. So if you're going to take a breath, take it when it's up towards the top. And I need one breath while I do these. Now always hang on to this end, the other end. So
watch your eyes.
And Kathy's right. Remember, always watch your eyes. This thing has a tendency, if it pops, to come back off of those fingers, and blop, 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 blop. So I've cut my eye, actually. I didn't go to the doctor, and I don't know that for sure, but it felt like I cut the eye with the end of this balloon. Next time you find a broken balloon, take a look at that. Take a look at that edge of that balloon, and really look at that. You'll see it's got a very sharp edge to it. And I wouldn't say that it would cut everything else, but it felt like it cut that eye that time. And here we have that curl, okay? And it's formed by blowing it up around something like that. That can also be done in larger scale. So in other words, let's say I want to make one big circle. If I keep moving my hand as I'm blowing, that curve will come in too. So I have that, but it isn't going to be the same curl, okay? But I just kept pulling that away from as I went. I just kept pulling it, so that gave me that there. And the fun thing with these here is when you let go of them, they kind of stay right in here, and that's a fun thing. If you can tear the end off of one of these when you're giving it to the kid and let go of it. It just stays right here and kind of makes a noise. It's fun. So that's the curl and the twist. One other thing that we don't do, I haven't seen anybody do for a long time, and was taught years ago, was to blow a balloon from backwards, basically. Which means that from the far end, the bubble starts, and then you blow it back up. And what it does is it makes the end farther away, the end farthest from the nipple, makes it smaller than the other end. So it kind of tapers. So it's a tapered balloon. And it was made for birds and it was made for the swan, basically, in the very beginning. The 3 bubbles down here in the neck, and that neck was smaller with a bigger head on the end, and it's formed because they did that. In fact, let me do that. Let me do that swan for you, that type of swan for you. But when a balloon blows up at its weakest point, so if you make wherever you make the weakest point, that's where that balloon's going to blow up. So in order to make a balloon blow up backwards, we have to make that the weakest point. And if you remember before when I said don't blow a balloon up when you stretch it, this one here you do that. And you do it because that makes that the weakest point down there at the end then, way down there at the thumb. And if you look, I don't know if you can see that, but it kind of stretches that around your fingernail and makes that the weak point. Okay? And then so you have to keep it stretched like that when you blow it. And I didn't make that one work. Let's try a different color. White's the color you use, and those are usually a little bit easier to blow. Colors do make a difference in making balloons. Okay?
Yeah.
colors make a little bit difference in easiness of blowing and everything else. But here's, we're going to try it again from the far end.
Watch right here.
We didn't do it again. Just when you want to do it, you can't, right? Always works that way.
Blue.
I don't have a blue. Let's try white again. Here's another way to maybe make sure that that happens. I'm going to give that a stretch down there at the end for sure. That will. We're not having any fun tonight. I tried a pink one earlier, didn't I?
Mm-hmm.
Come on. It's not going to work tonight. We'll try one other way is to blow a balloon from the center and basically do what I tried to do there is stretch the center out and then just blow it up. And that was where it started, in the center. Okay. And let me try one more time blowing it up from the other end.
There we go.
And there it is. And that's the taper. I don't know if you can see the taper in there, but this end is smaller than this end. And then we make the swan with this. This is the old three body. And now I've made the swan here. That's the head and thinner neck, and then a bigger head on the end. Making the swan. I'm going to show you this. I'm going to show you the easier swan. You don't have to blow up backwards.
How do you make that with the three?
This in here. I just did elephant ears.
Okay.
Okay. And this part here, I made sure it was longer than that and twisted it. And then I just shoved that bubble through to the other side and pulled back. Yes. I made like an S in here, pull the head back, and then made the head, and I'm going to show that head later. So that. The idea here was to show you why you would turn anything to, from one end to the other, from the back end. Okay. I think I covered this before, but I'm going to say it one more time. And that's when you see somebody working with balloons and you see something you like, then you should diagram that or fix it so you can remember it, okay? So if you sat down and drew it out, you just draw bubbles in a row, okay? And in fact, I'll draw right after I do this a second. But remember, we talked about, let's do the bear one more time. This time I glue it long enough to make it, burps it, and tying it, okay? And now I'm going to talk myself through the bear. And here's the snout that I want. I want enough to go through from one side to the other twice. So I got to have twice that. So that's this. And I twist. And then I have the side of the head. And I twist. Okay. And then I'm going to have an ear. So these are the diagrams I'm drawing right on here, okay? The top of the head and the ear, and then there's the other side of the head, okay? I don't know how much, can you see all of this yet?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, for purposes, I'm going to be putting this down in here so that I can continue, but now I'm going to do the arm, and then the other arm, there we go, and then I got a body, and then I got a body, and then I have the bottom part of the bottom legs, and then I got a tail on the end. And if can you see in there that this thing has gone all over on the table here? I don't know if you can see that or not. Okay. Oh, I let go. That's what happens when you let go. But that was the point, was that it lays right out that way, and then.
But you normally wouldn't do that unless you locked.
Right. I would have locked before I got to that point. But it's all those little bubbles. So that if you, I hope this shows on here. So that in other words, if I wanted to diagram that for somebody, I just draw this bubble here, and then I got this bubble here.
Now the cheek.
The snout, the cheek, the ear, the top, the ear, and the other cheek, and then I have an arm, and I do arms now. I used to do neck, okay, and you just keep on going and down here. Then you take and show where you're going to lock at by doing this. I'm going to lock there and there. These two are going to lock, and then I'm going to lock here for ears. So that's just single ears here, and then I'm going to lock double down here. So that's going there to there, like that. So that's diagrammed for the bear. Here's the snout, the side of the head, the ear, the top of the head, the ear, the top of the head, or the side of the head, and then that's all done there. Then I come back later on, and this gets twisted here too, and then goes back through these. But at least I know now that this is where that's all going to be. So that's how to diagram what you see or want to do. Okay. I'm sorry, there's sometimes when you're working with balloons, they don't want to do exactly what you want them to do. And
so make a complete bear now.
Not what I wanted to do, but I will make a complete bear because she wants.
That's what it says.
If you notice, I don't know if you can see that, but I sometimes use my body to work with. It's just holding on to that first bubble right now. And so that leaves my whole hand free to work on the other side here. But here's, you can see the shapes here, the side, and then the ears, the head. Okay, and this knot comes out, you twist to get two bubbles, and then one goes through, and the other one stays in the back. Then you come up here and twist the ears. Pull and twist. Here's the other ear. Make sure that snout stays out here where it belongs. Use my vise and twist, and there's the other ear. Okay, and then you come down here, and I'm going to start my front top arms. Here's the legs. Here they come right in here, and I'm going to elephant ear those. Pull it apart and bring it down, twist it. This is more advanced stuff I wanted to do next time instead of this time. But there it is, the top part of the bear. I used to put a neck in there, but I stopped doing that because this kind of makes it look a little bit better, and it gives me that bubble more down here where I really need it. I have this much left. I'm going to squeeze this right now out, and then I'm going to go backwards a little bit here. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to figure a body and leg, and then pinch twist, and then I'm going to back this back up, and so that I get both those legs in here and twist it off. This is more advanced when you do that. And then you elephant ear these two down here, twist them out, and you have a bear. And you can put the snout where it belongs, kind of take it. I like to make sure that everything looks kind of nice when you turn that around to the other person. But, you know, right here they don't. When they're looking at this, they don't see nothing. You know, I mean, they see the bubbles and stuff, and somewhat of a bear. But when you turn that around and make it really look like a bear to them, they really like that. So there's the bear. So we've gone through all of this now, and I think what I'd like to do is to show you a few things that are easy to do, and then these things for you to practice, and then you can come back some other time and take an advanced class with me or someone else, and learn some newer things or bigger things, different things, or learn how to design and structure some of your own things. We've already shown the dog, but I'm going to do it again because that's part of my list right now. So here it is again. Now we do a poodle, and that looks a little bit better than this, but this is just the thing to start with. The snout, ear, and the other ear, and twist the ears together. The neck, small neck, because I gotta have everything else here yet. So I got a pair of front legs, and twisting, a body, a pair of back legs, and what's left is going to be the tail. I don't really need to know or care how much that's going to be. I need to try and get these the same size as these up here if I can, to make it look right. Okay? And so that's the simple dog. Always try to split these two. There's people out there that make balloons and they just make a circle here, you know, and it's okay, but it's just not the best.
Not sculpting.
And it's not sculpting, right? And try and remember to give that extra tug on the knot just before you give it to them. That keeps the air in the front part. But it's still, and if you leave it till the very end and do that, then you still have the opportunity to work with this bubble. Once you've tied it tight, you can't work with this bubble anymore. It's just not, it'll be too tight for it. So the simple dog. And you remember the apple twist that we did before. This was blowing up just this big. Now this is going to be a tulip, and you don't need to burp this one because you got plenty of room to work and everything. You just need to. This one here was like a mouthful of air and then a partial mouth of air, just to get that much bubble here. And you do the apple twist here, and you do the full apple twist. Remember earlier I did an apple twist only part way down and cut off. This one goes all the way down to the stem, just like the bird body one that I did earlier. This one here, you come in from this end, not from the side. Come in from the end and grab the knot. Remember, I didn't show you that.